Hey guys, so I'm here again with Kingston and using a different camera, so you probably can't see his coloring that great, but that's okay. I did want to come and show you guys. Remember I was saying that the honey bug pacifiers look a lot like the whatever pacifiers those are. I forget what brand that is, but I think it's Playtex, I don't know. But anyway, that is the honey bug, and this is a, I don't know, it doesn't say. I forget. I think it's Playtex, but I'm not sure. But yeah, see, they look pretty similar. This one is a little bit smaller, but pretty cool. But anyway, I wanted to come on and talk to you guys about the, okay, guys, you're just going to be looking at him because trying to feed from over here and do the video, I can't concentrate. Oh, but he looks so cute, like he's really getting a bottle. So we're going to give him his pacifier back. We'll give him this pacifier since he had the other one. You guys got to see what that one looked like. So we'll get to see what this one looks like. All right. So the topic of the day is, why are ethnic babies so much higher in cost than the Caucasian babies? I have seen it, noticed it, got frustrated with it, and a lot of others, do the same. And for many people that don't buy ethnic babies or Caucasian babies, don't really, probably, understand how frustrating it is when you see the same limited edition kit or sold out kit reborn by a popular artist that goes for, nearly, it can be hundreds and hundreds of dollars less if it's painted in Caucasian versus if it's painted in ethnic. And, I say, wow, that's so frustrating. But at the same time, I get it. Because, of course, how many layers do you think it takes to reach this color versus this color? So, of course, to get to that darker color, number one, you're going to use more paint. But not only that, and I'm not an artist, I'm a collector, of course. So I'm just, talking from what I see from my collection and from listening to other artists. The other thing is that I'm not going to say that it's easy to make a Caucasian baby, but it is definitely more challenging to make an ethnic baby. I've heard a few people say, oh, it's, easy to make an ethnic baby. Maybe so, but to make one right and a realistic color is very hard. And, two colors that is very hard to reach. I've seen people that struggle with this artist is a dark color in it, an African American baby, and a true biracial color, or biracial they can kind of hit sometimes because that color can be very close to just being Caucasian. Just give it a little bit of a tint, nice tan and some dark hair, and you can call it, biracial. But like a lighter skin tone ethnic baby like Serena's color is very hard for a lot of people to reach. And so we're not even talking about silicone yet. I'll talk about that later. And reborns, a lot of people end up making the babies look very orangey when they try to do the yellow, and then when they do the brown, either they have a pasty looking color, or they have too much red, or they're gray. That is one of the biggest things I've seen that's wrong. Or the shading. One thing about black babies, and I use black babies, I'm a black woman, so I can say black. I don't know, some people get offended by that, but African American babies, The one thing that is probably, you're probably almost always, it's very rare for our babies to come out with very blotchy skin or very, there are variations in the skin tones a little bit, but they're pretty much usually born with very smooth, beautiful skin. I'm not saying that other races, ethnic, I can't say that word, forget it. I have to really concentrate to say it. But other races, babies don't come out, with beautiful skin or anything. But I'm just saying, for what I know about African American babies, they're usually pretty even toned as far as, well, the variations of the coloring of the skin is usually in some of the typical places, but they're not like blotchy, and they're not, they don't look dirty looking or shaded all dark. I see people with the reborns, they get super black in here. And I know that, it's an illusion that may come across sometime, and it's art. So I get that. And people see things different and they're painting a canvas. But when you're talking about, I'm talking about sometime I see people like shading in the wrists, like really dark and all that. Black babies don't have that. It's not realistic. And a lot of people are like, oh, it's so gorgeous, blah, blah. And it's like when one artist started and people like it, all the artists follow that trend. And they're all following the wrong trend because that is not realistic. And the darkness of the forehead and stuff like that. Now, black babies does have that a lot of times. And the same is with the darkness around the ears. You got to know when and when not to do that. All of every single black baby don't have dark ears. So it's just, I just think it's very hard for artists to really nail it on an ethnic baby. There are certain things like the around the nail beds and just different things that is just is very different. And then there's a wide range of colors and skin tones that an African American or black baby can have. They go from one extreme to the next, and majority of our babies are born very light, almost to the point where they look like they're either biracial or they look like they are Caucasian. But sometimes they are born with more color than others. Very rarely do you see them born where they're born exactly this color. Like, because of his size and everything, he is probably would be, in my opinion, a baby that, well, I'll say they can be this color, but when they're born, but not, it's different. With the silicone is different, like, because his color is very translucent and it looks like skin, and you'd have to see him in person to really get it. But maybe after they came home, maybe a couple weeks old, a month old, even 2 months old, they can get to this color like really easily sometime. I'm not an expert, I'm not a doctor. I've had, of course, a couple kids. And I come from a very large family, and my mom, like I said, I've done childcare forever, and I've seen tons of babies, so I've seen a lot. But I guess that's why people put the price on it. And then when they know they've mastered the color and they know that people like it, because they know it's hard for people to master the color, they really up the price. So, but at the end of the day, I'm the first one to say that it don't matter what the price is. If I feel like it's worth it, I'm going to pay for it. And that's another thing. I've seen people complaining about what people sell their babies for or what they resell their babies for. You know what? I've bought babies for more than what they originally sold for. I bought them for less. And I don't even like question them like, oh, why are you charging me this? My thing is, if I feel like it's worth it to me, I buy it. If I don't feel like it's worth it to me, I tell them thank you, but that's not in my price range, and then I keep it moving. I don't tell them it's not worth it. I don't tell them that I'm not, you know, none of that. Like, because this is art, and it's like, I know a lot of people want to say, oh, it's not the same as regular, like collecting stamps. The older the stamp is, the more the value increase and stuff like that. And they want to say that the dolls are not the same, but that is not true. A true rare, sold out, reborn, or silicone that's kept in prestige condition, the value does tend to go up. You know why? Because they can't get it somewhere else, and it's a very rare form. So you know what? A lot more people want it, and the price do go up. Um, and there are babies out there that I probably would pay double the amount if I had it, just to get it, just because I know that it's a true one of a kind or whatever. So, prices can get tricky. I don't like to discuss prices when people contact me and ask me, like, well, how much you pay for this or how much you pay for that. If it's not public knowledge, then I'm not telling you. I'm not trying to be rude, but that's my personal information. Plus, in the way things work in this community, everything is gossip, and everybody wants to, you never know if they're really trying to get the information for themselves, or they're just trying to have something to talk about. Oh, she paid this much for that baby. Oh, she did this. She did that. Oh, and the artist charged her this. Oh, she didn't pay that. Oh, blah, 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 blah. And, it's like, yeah, so it's just personal. It's like to me, it's like almost asking me how much I make on my job. So yeah, I know I've been all over the place, but I thought I would talk about that a little bit because a lot of people seem to be frustrated with it. And I know I was at one point, and I still do sometimes. But at the end of the day, if I feel like the doll is worth it, I'm gonna pay it. So that's just like with bidding on dolls. I won't bid on dolls typically, but if it's one that I really, really want, I don't care what, I'm gonna bid on it. I have my price set. If it goes past that, then I just stop. But I have my limit set, and if it's something that I really, really want, I'm going after it. I don't care, what, you know. I don't care if, other people are like, ain't no way I'll pay that or blah, blah, blah. It's like, you know what? You won't pay it. It's you. This is me, and that's what I choose to pay. So yeah, I just thought I would talk about that. Silicone babies are a whole nother animal. I think it is like triple the time harder to reach an ethnic color and do it nicely in silicone versus Caucasian babies in silicone. And because it's already hard enough just to get a nice painted Caucasian baby in silicone, like just period. The flesh color, just silicone is just a whole nother animal. So when you see one that's well done in silicone, you better get glad. Like, I really used to think that I had to sacrifice the realism in the silicone for the feel or the actual sculpt or different things, but I didn't think that they can look as good as a reborn, or they could do the same techniques as a reborn would have. But after time, seeing different ones, it definitely changed my opinion on it. It's like, I used to be like, oh, you can't get as much detail in an ethnic baby, silicone baby, as you can a Caucasian silicone baby. But yeah, you can if it's painted right. But so I just love both. I love both. I love the things that are different in the different races and the different painting styles of Caucasian and African American babies. There are certain things that I just love the way that Caucasian babies look when they're freshly born that ethnic babies don't have, and vice versa. So it's art to me, and it's just realism, like I said before. And so anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the chat. We will talk back with you guys later. Bye bye now.